I still remember the exact moment my heart cracked wide open. It was a cold Tuesday in November, the kind where the wind sneaks under the door and bites your ankles. I was sitting in Mr. Harrington's oak-paneled office, wearing the same navy coat I'd worn to my husband's funeral 12 years earlier. The lawyer slid the thick envelope across the desk and said, "Margaret, this is your copy of the new will." That's when Jessica, my daughter-in-law, leaned forward, perfectly manicured nails tapping the mahogany, and laughed. Not a polite chuckle, a sharp, bright laugh that echoed off the walls. "I was out of the 77 million at the reading," she announced to no one in particular, like she was ordering coffee, completely written out. Can you imagine? Mr. Harrington tried to stay professional, but his shoulders started shaking. Then he couldn't hold it anymore. He laughed until tears came. I just sat there, 81 years old, smelling the lemon oil on the desk and the Chanel perfume Jessica always wore like armor, and I felt the last thread holding my family together snap. Let me take you back so you understand how we got here. Every morning for the last 30 years, I woke up at 5, before the birds, before the sun even thought about rising. The kitchen tiles were always ice under my feet. I'd start the coffee, the old percolator hissing and spinning like it was angry to be awake. Then I'd pull Henry's shirts from the dryer, my son's shirts now, still warm, and fold them the way he liked. Sleeves first, then the collar pressed flat with my palm. The smell of downy and coffee grounds filled the little house I paid for, the one with the crooked mailbox and the rose bushes I planted the year Henry graduated college. I never asked for thanks. I just did it because that's what mothers do. When Henry married Jessica, I sold the lakeside cabin my own parents left me, 3 generations of memories, so they could have the down payment on that big stone house in Westchester. I signed the check with a shaking hand and told myself it was an investment in family. When the grandbabies came, I was there for every fever, every midnight colic, every time Jessica decided she needed a wellness retreat in Sedona. I rocked crying infants while she posted Instagram stories about self-care. I cooked pot roast on Sundays and left Tupperware on their porch when they were too busy to visit. I paid for private schools, braces, summer camps, the Tesla in the driveway that Jessica called my little runaround. I never was invited inside anymore, just the porch, like a delivery driver. Year after year, I watched my son change. The boy who used to fall asleep on my lap during thunderstorms grew into a man who checked his watch when I talked too long. He'd say, "Mom, we're swamped. Mom, the market's crazy right now. Mom, tomorrow, I promise, tomorrow." Tomorrow never came. I kept giving anyway because if I stopped, what was left of me? Then came the fall I broke my hip. 91 days in that rehabilitation place that smelled like bleach and mashed peas. Henry visited twice, Jessica never. She sent flowers once, white lilies that died in 3 days. The card said, "Thinking of you, XO." 2 exclamation points, like punctuation could replace a daughter. When I finally came home on the walker, the house felt different, quieter. My spare key didn't work anymore. Jessica had upgraded the locks for security. She handed me a new key on a pink tassel like it was a party favor. I smiled and said, "Thank you." Inside, something started to wake up, something that had been asleep for decades. That night, I sat in my little bedroom, the one they let me keep on the first floor for my convenience, and opened the fireproof box under my bed. Inside were the deeds, the accounts, the trust my husband and I built with 50 years of overtime and skipped vacations. $77 million after taxes. Money I never touched because I thought love was enough. I called Mr. Harrington the next morning. Over the following months, I moved like a ghost. Quiet, methodical. I transferred properties back into my name alone. I removed Henry and Jessica as beneficiaries on every account. I created a new trust, ironclad for the local children's hospital and the scholarship fund for girls who want to be mechanics, like I once dreamed of being before life decided otherwise. I hired a caretaker to live in my little cottage in Vermont, the one nobody knew I still owned, and I rewrote my will. Every page notarized, every I dotted. I never raised my voice. I never sent a dramatic text. I just disappeared from their future. The day of the reading came. Jessica wore black, like she was already in mourning for money she never earned. Henry looked pale. When Mr. Harrington read the part that left them exactly $1 each, so there can be no mistake about my intention, Jessica's mouth opened and closed like a fish on dry land. Then she laughed that laugh, the one that finally broke me. After the lawyer stopped laughing, he looked at them with something close to pity and said, "Mrs. Margaret Thompson has also filed a no-contact order, effective immediately." I wasn't in the room anymore. I'd left before the reading started. I was already on the train north, watching the Hudson River slide by, gray and endless. In my lap was the old photo album I rescued from the house, the one with pictures of Henry missing his front teeth, grinning on my hip. I ran my thumb across his little face, and I cried. Not for the money, for the boy who used to exist. Now I wake up to birds again, real ones. The cottage smells like pine and cinnamon rolls I bake for no one but me. There's a garden out back where I planted peonies, the kind my mother loved. They're blooming pink and reckless against the green mountain. Sometimes the phone rings and I let it go to voicemail. Henry's voice cracks, begging, blaming, bargaining. Jessica screams about lawyers and lawsuits and after everything we did for you. I delete the messages without answering. The silence feels like breathing for the first time in 50 years. I kept one thing from the old life, the little gold locket Henry gave me on Mother's Day when he was 9. Inside is a picture of us at the county fair, both of us sticky with cotton candy. I wear it every day, not because I forgive him, because I forgive myself for loving someone who couldn't love me back the same way. If you're listening to this and your heart hurts the way mine did, please hear me. Love is not a blank check. Sacrifice without respect is just slow suicide. And sometimes the bravest thing a mother can do is close the door she spent her whole life holding open. The sun is coming up now over the mountains, the peonies are swaying, and for the first time in decades, the only heartbeat I'm responsible for is my own. I think I'm going to be just fine.